Richtig schneller Winter, ich will hier endlich raus aus diesem Verdacht. Was? Minen! Minen!
Hollywood has shaped viewers' attention and knowledge over the years, especially on topics you probably never get into or experience. In situations like this, you never bother to do research on a personal level to see if these are myths or facts. Well, today I've done that for you, and I've compiled a list of some misconceptions Hollywood and the movie industry has made us believe. So let's get right into it. Starting off with landmines. You've seen this in movies 100 times, and it has created this popular misconception that landmines won't explode until you step away from it. Well, it will blow your mind to find out that this isn't true. Most landmines are pressure triggered. They explode once a sufficient enough pressure is placed upon them. This basically translates to once you step on it. There are no last words, no time to dig or try to rig the mine. You're gone. It's also worth noting that landmines don't expire like other materials, meaning they can remain buried and dangerous for decades, even centuries after being laid. This is how a landmine would go realistically. Hollywood has made it suspenseful, but in reality it's actually very, very terrifying. This brings us to our next part: explosion. Hollywood loves explosion, dramatic effects that it adds to scenes. Well, explosions don't always look like this. Real explosion, especially from military-grade explosive like C4 or grenade, are more about pressure wave than fireballs. Now, don't get this wrong. Fireballs can happen, but that's only if there's a lot of fuel available, like gasoline or propane. As a matter of fact, even explosives like TNT don't create dramatic fireball, they just blow things apart with shockwave. So this is actually false, as well as this. See, people dive or casually walk away from explosions and escape with maybe some dirt on their face, but this is not realistically the case. The blast wave can cause ruptures in your organs, and even if there are no visible wounds, your ears can be damaged, your lungs can collapse, and being anywhere near the epicenter of a blast would definitely lead to your death. So you can't outrun or dive away from a real explosion. You'd be shattered by debris or killed by the shockwave. Next up is silencers or suppressors. This particular scene from John Wick has been on my mind since I first saw the movie. Why? Because suppressors don't work like this. They don't suppress this much sound. Hell, people are casually walking around and they are unbothered. Gunshots are basically mini explosions. Real suppressors reduce some noise, but it's not enough to be this silent. A suppressed gunshot is still as loud as a jackhammer, and multiple of that would bother you. Even with a suppressor, a gunshot will still echo, especially when you're doing it indoors. So you can still hear it down the hall or across the street or something, and you're telling me that everybody here is just suddenly deaf. I get that this is a movie, but it kind of bugs me the wrong way. Next on the list is hacking. Hollywood loves hacking just as much as it loves explosion, but the depiction is often wrong. You'd see lone hackers breaking into NASA and FBI and vaulting banks and showing you all the things they can achieve. You start to think, oh, this is really cool. I would like to be a hacker like this. Personally though, I believe that they intentionally push this fact over multiple years to create enough hype for computer science and cybersecurity, which has led to the overpopulation of the job market, making it much more easier and cheaper for them to hire computer science graduates. But that's a talk for another day. Now back to Hollywood. A hacker would type fast for 10 seconds and say, "Amen, they have taken over the Pentagon." Bro, real hacking involves weeks or months of research, social engineering, and finding vulnerabilities in websites or systems. You don't just guess the password in 3 tries and get into someone's account. You exploit human error by sending cloned website links to get login credentials from everyday people by phishing or spoof attacks. This segment of the video would have been perfect for a sponsored video though, but unfortunately. Anyways, Hacking is more about patience and problem solving than just speed typing. And what the fuck is this? Hacking tools are mostly boring command lines and script and logs. Every hacking tool is all text-based. It's more about reading spreadsheets than it is like playing Tron. And also, what's with this one hacker hack all trope that Hollywood keep doing? We need to explain why real-life hacking groups contain multiple members. It's not a one-man job. And also, hackers don't announce themselves. They want stealth, not drama. Most hacks are quiet and will go undetected for weeks or months. So we should be careful about where we log in or where we leave our data online. And this is why I use our today's sponsored Incogni. No, I'm just kidding. A man can only dream, right? Incogni, please, if you're seeing this, sponsor me. But some of this is that hacking is way more difficult and more boring than what they show in Hollywood. Moving on to air ducts. This is actually very laughable if you've ever seen an air duct in real life. The hero crawls through a skinny air duct through the hallway and they sneak into a room and drop down like a ninja. Real air ducts are often about 14 to 24 inches wide, and that's barely enough to even fit your own shoulders. They are designed for air, not people, and most adults will not even fit. Hell, even kids will struggle to fit. And ducts are also made out of aluminium or metal sheets, so even if you manage to fit inside, you cannot crawl in because it will just crumble under your weight instantly. They are also suspended by light brackets and they are not built to hold 70 kg. And also, the inside are filthy, filled with dust, insulation fibers and other dead insect or rodents. The metal edges are sharp enough to cut you and the screws and nails usually stick out. If you ever worked a technical job, you would know how this looks like. And also, ducts don't go straight from one room into another. The access is usually limited and it's only possible for industrial setting, and even at that, it is still tight and risky, so this is completely unrealistic.